Hey, and welcome back to episode 25 of Creating Happy. I'm officially a quarter of the way to 100, so I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep showing up for you guys, even with my screaming kids in the background. We're having some serious playtime out there with Daddy right now. So you'll hear them throughout this. But today I wanted to talk about loneliness and the feeling of loneliness and why we feel lonely, and what it really means and how we can handle it, deal with it, move on from it. Okay. So sometimes I get really lonely, which is funny because I've got 4 kids and a husband and a dog. And sometimes I feel so alone. Like sometimes I don't feel like they're going to understand, because one's a dog and 4 of them are children. One can barely speak. But even with my husband, my eternal companion, my best friend, my children knocking on my door. Sorry about that. But yeah, even with my husband, who I love so much, and we have so much in common, and we really communicate really very well, I think. Sometimes I'm just like, he's not going to get this. I am so alone. I don't know who to talk to or where to go. Like, I feel like we get this feeling of, like we feel guilty if we go and ask people for help or for time, right? Like, sometimes I call my mom or my sister, and if I just called them like the day before, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to bother them again. They're probably so busy. I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't want to be a burden to them, right? Like sometimes if I call a friend, I want to give them some time in between each time I call, for just a chat, or be like, can I come over, crash your house because I'm so sad. I just need somebody, right? So lonely right now. But then I start to get, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I start to get these thoughts like, maybe they're annoyed with me. Maybe they don't want me coming over or calling so often. Why can't they just take care of themselves? Right? So I know that a lot of us have these thoughts that are creating these feelings, of increased loneliness and guilt and embarrassment, and whatever else is coming up for you. So I was curious, and I went and posted on social media last week, and asked hundreds of people what they do when they feel lonely. So I was really curious what the answers were going to be, and I got about what I was expecting, funny enough. The most popular answers were watch TV, listen to music, and read a book. Okay. I didn't add everything up, but that was clear across the board. I saw that so many times, just again and again and again. And a lot of the other answers had to do with other kinds of distractions, right? Like watching TV, listening to music, it kind of takes your mind off of the loneliness or whatever negative emotion you're feeling, right? They distract you from that. So other people suggested exercise. Not that exercise is bad, not that reading or watching TV or any of that is bad. Just do something, basically get into work, exercise, go on a walk, do anything so that you don't have to think about how lonely you are. Okay. Then a few people said call a friend or a family member or jump on social media. I thought this was really interesting, you guys, that the minority of the people were suggesting treating their loneliness with companionship. So I was thinking about why that was, and I haven't asked yet, and I might, and I want to ask here, of course. I would love it if you guys would give me a voice message after you're done reading this on anchor.fm. You can leave a voice message, only I'll hear it. But why are we treating loneliness with distractions rather than companionship? Because companionship seems like such the obvious answer, right? I'm lonely. There's no people with me. I want people with me. So my guess is that when we do that, it's because, like I said before, we don't want to be a burden. We don't think anybody will understand. We feel guilty asking for so much help. So those are my guesses. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So now I want to make sure it's clear that you guys know I don't think it's necessarily good or bad to watch TV or listen to music or read or go exercise or go on a walk. A lot of they have a lot of benefits. You know, I'm not dissing any of that. I'm not saying there is a right or a wrong way to handle loneliness. What I want to do here is to just help provide awareness, give you guys the opportunity to think about things that you haven't thought about before, and maybe give you some additional options so that you can make the right choice for you, okay? So I want to ask, what is so bad about being lonely? Like, what does lonely feel like? For me, lonely feels kind of like a pit in my stomach, like where I can't decide if I'm hungry or need more food, hungry and need more food, or if I've overeaten, or maybe that I feel sick and want to throw up. Like for some reason, loneliness stays in my stomach and it's just this pit. I can't decide if it's empty or heavy. And so it's really uncomfortable, but it is just this feeling in my body. So then I ask, what does being lonely mean? What does it mean to me? Because sometimes when I'm lonely, I make it mean that nobody loves me. I'm unlovable. Or some people may think that they're worthless or unworthy in some way. Some people perhaps feel hopeless. See, the feeling of loneliness, as we learn from the model, comes from the thoughts we are thinking. So when we think things like, nobody's going to understand, nobody wants to talk to me, I'm not worthy of love, I'm not worthy of companionship, I'm a hopeless case, we are going to feel the effects of that, and they may come as loneliness. Okay? So to me, the feeling of loneliness, that pit in my stomach, is just a symptom of the thoughts that I'm having about my value, about my lovability, about my worthiness. Because that's where it comes from. That feeling is not so bad. It's just a pit in your stomach. It's kind of uncomfortable. But those thoughts hurt, right? Also, those additional thoughts, nobody wants to talk to me. I'm bothering people when I call and ask for help. I'm a burden to those who I keep going over to their houses and making them hang out with me and feed me ice cream. Those thoughts also hurt. Those increase the loneliness and the worthlessness and the hopelessness, right? So let's take a step back again. I always want to keep going back and back to the source, okay? Let's really look at being alone, okay? Whether that means you are physically alone with nobody around you, or you just believe that no one who is around you understands, that you're alone like mentally. Okay, that you have no one to connect to with whatever it is you want to talk about. The state of being alone is just a fact. It is just a thing that is, it exists. It is neither good nor bad. It is 100% neutral. And we know this is true because some people really love being alone. Some people see it as a way to connect with themselves, as a way to regroup. They like to self-evaluate, make goals. They like to just be by themselves so they don't have to think about what other people are doing or thinking or what they need or any of that. It's just an enjoyable state for them. So keep that in mind, you guys. Being alone is neutral, neither good nor bad. Now, when you have a negative thought about being alone, you will receive a negative feeling, most likely loneliness, okay, among other things, because we have lots of thoughts and lots of feelings. If you have a neutral thought about being alone, like, this is fine, whatever, I'm going to go about my business, you have a neutral feeling. And if you have a positive thought about being alone, then you are going to generate positive feelings, okay? Those are just the facts of the matter. And this is really good news because that means whenever you find yourself feeling lonely, you can pause and think about your thoughts, which is so funny. You get to think about your thoughts. Did you know that we're the only animal on Earth that can do that? Yeah. So you can really think, like, what is it I'm thinking that is causing me to feel so lonely? And perhaps you're thinking something like, I'm unworthy of love and friendship, as an example, okay? Then you get to question that. Is that really true? Am I really unworthy of love and friendship? No, because as a human, I am worthy of love, and anyone can have friendship. I know some pretty horrible people that have friends. If anyone's not worthy, it's them, but they've got them. So it must not have anything to do with my worthiness. And think about all these things and really question it, right? What are some other things that might be true? Maybe I don't have a lot of friends because I'm too scared to go out and find friends. Maybe I do have a lot of friends, and for some reason, I just think I don't. What is a lot of friends? Because to some people, a lot of friends is 10, and to other people, a lot of friends is 2. Like, I don't have any more room in my life for more than 2 friends. That's not me. I love you all. I want all the friends. So if I were to give you advice, and that's what I'm going to do, because that's what I do, and that's why you listen, when you are feeling lonely, or any negative emotion for that matter, I want you to sit down and write down what's going on in your head. Okay? It's called a thought model. A thought download. So you just write it all down. Like, right now I'm in my room and I'm sitting on my bed and nobody's with me, and I think that that's really sad, and I wish that I had more friends, and la 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 la, and just all the things, okay? And then you can put that into a model if you know how. And you can check my earlier episodes to learn how to do the model. So circumstance, just facts, okay? Thought, pick one specific thought. It doesn't matter which one, just one thought. And when you think that specific thought, how does that make you feel? Okay. And I like to sometimes start with the feeling. You can go C, T, F, and then fill in the F line for feeling. I feel lonely. Now, what's causing me to feel lonely? What am I thinking that's making me feel lonely? Right? And then you can fill in that thought line. And then after feeling, it's action. What actions am I taking? And then result. What result is coming as a direct as a result of my actions that I'm taking. What are the results for you personally? Okay. And that gives you the opportunity to observe your thoughts and be more objective, right? To be the observer of your brain. And that's when you can do all that work, all that questioning. Is that true? What proof do I have that I'm wrong? What haven't I considered? Okay. And also, this is very important, you can look at that thought download and look at the ratio of nice things to not so nice things you are saying about yourself. Because maybe the real reason you don't want to be alone with yourself is because you don't particularly like yourself. And maybe the reason you don't particularly like yourself is because you don't say very nice things to yourself. Is it possible? I think it is for a lot of us. See, a lot of us don't really work on the relationship that we have with ourselves. A lot of us don't even know we have a relationship with ourselves, but we do, whether we're conscious of it or not. And that is the most important relationship. If you love yourself and you talk kindly to yourself and you have compassion and patience with yourself, being alone does not have to be lonely. But if you're judging yourself and saying mean things to yourself, if you're neglecting yourself, if you're like, I don't even want to talk to this person inside my head, that's obviously a relationship that maybe, yeah, you do want to avoid that. Makes sense that you would not want to be alone. That would feel very lonely. So I want to encourage you guys to love yourself first, okay? You love yourself and you will never feel lonely. And as a plus, people are naturally drawn to people with confidence. And if you're loving yourself, you've got confidence. So the goal is not to make yourself more confident so that you can have more friends so that you're not lonely. Don't do that. The goal is to love yourself so you never have to be lonely. And then as a bonus, maybe you'll make more friends. Okay. So like I said, leave me a voice message. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this. You can also email me at Angie at angielifecoaching.com. Or you can get on and talk to me on Facebook. I've got a group you can join if you want to. It is Loving Life Despite Depression. So that's a good resource too for those of you looking for some extra help. So thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.